all of you risk takers and truth seekers to podcast Life to Battlefield. Today I like to talk about beauty, about fashion. But before that, let's come to common understanding, at least my one, was that models are just a body and a size. And maybe look, of course. However, I was mistaken. And why mistaken? Because today I'm hosting truly amazing guest of mine. Somebody who doesn't have only look, size, and body, but a brain above all. Somebody who is a business woman. The person opposite me, my guest, Rachel Gallagher, she has a master's degree in management and leadership. And then she's as well ex-English teacher. Can you imagine, guys? On my podcast, I have ex-English teacher, so I better be, my pronunciation better be good. So Rachel, welcome. I'm so excited. Yeah. I'm so excited. Okay, your story from trials to tribulation. Rachel Gallagher today with me in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, www.rachelgallagher.com. Go on our website, join her newsletter to find out more. Rachel, welcome one more time.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Rachel, okay, let's go start with this story of mine I opened. The general perception about models, at least mine was presented. The models are only just a body, look, and size. Yeah. How mistaken we are.
Oh, I used to think that too before I was a model. Okay. Would you believe? I never thought I would be doing modeling. I always thought, it's very easy. There's not a lot of challenge in it. The people that do modeling, maybe not so bright, but I was very wrong about that as well. So completely understand. So
Rachel, let's go start from the end. Instead of everyone loves to run the bio. Once upon a time, I was born from my dad and mom. The lucky star, unlucky star. I was happy. I was unhappy. Today, you are future Miss Galaxy, we're hoping. You're competing in pageants. You're running your brain about your clothes.
Yes.
How did you become today what you become, or what you are today?
It was never planned, I can tell you that much. So I work in fashion now. I never thought I would be working in fashion. I thought I'd end up working in education my whole life, and completely wrong about that too.
So how did you come? So you are starting your career as an English teacher.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, okay. High school English teacher.
High school English teacher.
Yes, high school English teacher.
So tell me, what happened to you that you changed profession from being teacher to being the pageant competitor?
Yeah, well, it was interesting because I was quite young when I was teaching. So I was 21, 22. Yeah. So when I was teaching in the last school that I was in, the faculty was very interesting. Actually, the students I got along really well with, but it was the other teachers that I didn't really get on so well with. And the reason for that, I think, was it was a male-dominated English faculty, which was very interesting. And as a young woman who kind of looks the way that I do, you come up against some bias with that. So after experiencing that, I decided that maybe teaching wasn't for me, and then I just kind of ventured out on my own to try new things.
First of all, I want to say, I congratulate you.
Oh, thank you.
A lot of people love to talk about courage. A lot of people love to talk about, I will do it. I will make it this. I just wish it's happening this or that. But they never do. They never come out of comfort zone. May I ask you, it's quite a personal question. You mentioned now in conversation, you attractive woman. So what means for attractive woman to be surrounded with the male society?
Yeah, very interesting.
What was for you? Maybe other women can learn from this experience as well.
Yeah, I think so. It's interesting growing up kind of looking the way that you have always been very slim. And so you do attract, attention from people. And sometimes that shapes the way that they think about you, and that might shape the way that they think about how intelligent you are as well. But I come from a family of very smart people. My mum's a university lecturer and my dad's a teacher as well. So I come from Thanks, Dad. So I come from a very educated family. So the way that I look was never something that took precedence in my life. It was always what's going on up here and always having goals.
Hence why I said at the beginning of opening that perception of the most of society is, general perception is, when we see the models, and I grew up in 80s and 90s with the model Cindy Crawford and all these guys, and seeing them today on there's a show on Apple TV, and it's like, my God, these women, once upon a time, you know what I mean? They're still
Yes, I think I
beautiful.
saw that one, the
Yeah.
supermodels one.
But they are actually smart women.
They are, yeah.
You know, they never spoke while they're on catwalks and runways.
Yes.
So thank you, Rachel, for sharing this one. Now, what happened? You know, you didn't plan to become the model. What happened? Did you wake up one day in the morning and then it's like a Wonka chocolate factory? Someone says, "Hey, Rachel, this is chocolate for you." I mean,
It's the golden ticket.
So what happened?
No, it never happened like that. So I was working in a call center in my early 20s, and I was on Instagram one day and I was just scrolling through, and I came across beauty pageants. And that was really my first introduction to photo shoots and modelling, doing that beauty pageant. After that, I started getting offers to do more photo shoots. After that particular pageant, I started posting them on Instagram, and that's how my career started in modelling.
See, look, I truly believe that there's everything happens for the reason, right? And you know, you say it by yourself now, that you were one day on Instagram and you saw, and then thing happened and start rolling.
Yes.
Now, do you mind to share for our audience what's a pageant competition, what that involves, and what is the broader definition of this one? Because in our conversation prior to this recording, we come in studio, I asked Rachel, explain to me what's the difference between Miss Universe, Miss Galaxy, pageant, everything else. So for our audience, what is pageant?
Yeah, so a beauty pageant, if you think of it in the traditional way, it might not be what they're like now in a modern context. So people used to think, oh, beauty pageants all just about how you look and how you're on stage and walking and answering questions about world peace and all that sort of stuff. These days, it's a bit different. It's not just about the outside. It's also about what you're doing in the community. So the pageant that I'm in, which is Miss Galaxy Australia, it's all about female empowerment, which is really great.
I'm glad that talking to you today. I truly believe that women needs more and be empowered. Not by men, but by the women. And
yes, by other women, for sure.
Yeah, because like when the man says like, oh, we need to empower the women, what we know, like, you know, like that's a perception of the society, like women need to be empowered by the women and supported by the men. That's the only way I'm seeing this one. Now, you become model. Now, can we just dig deep?
Sure.
I was Googling and I said like I was reason why I can ask this question. I found a website here in Australia and says 5 reasons to try modeling. It is meet your people, extra money, be your own boss, channel your passion, challenge yourself. You tell us, please, what is the biggest reason why people become the model?
It's a very good question, and I think it depends on who you ask. Some people start out because they think it's really glamorous and really fun, and which it can be, very glamorous and very fun. I've done a lot of travel, I've met a lot of different people, and I've experienced things I wouldn't have otherwise experienced. But some people start modelling for the creative side of it as well, and not to ever become, you know, the next Gigi Hadid or Bella Hadid.
Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just for the fun of it, the creativity of it. And that's how I started. I just thought, you know, I'm just going to give this a try and see what happens.
Okay, so let's come back to your look, but not just your look as a tool of seduction or being admired, everything else. To be the model, at least, okay, in my times, now it's a little bit different. Now everything is like this body image thing, which I don't understand. Like, I'm fat, I can't be the model, you know what I mean? I don't want to be the model because I don't think myself I should be suited. But to be the model, like we seeing women and even men, you know, petite size and all this. Now, what it takes to keep that body shape?
Yeah, so do you mean like fitness-wise?
Yeah, like the food and everything else. Is it true that, you know, there's a lot of this dieting restrictions and what you can eat, what you can drink, and, you know, bulimia, you know, obviously you don't have a McDonald's every day. That's
No, probably not that. And that's just a personal preference for me. But yeah, before I did modelling and all that sort of stuff, I also did dancing. So I had that education about, you know, eating healthy and also exercise and that balance between the two. You do hear a lot of, you know, horror stories in modelling because, you know, that's a stigma that's around modelling, that people aren't treating their bodies very well. And it does happen, I'm sure. But for me, I really try to balance my health and wellness. I go to the gym. I just started at a CrossFit gym about 4 months ago, would you believe?
We're going to check this.
Yeah. And it's great. So I've learnt so much about, lifting weights and making sure that you're doing things safely, and talking to other people who are also interested in fitness and all that sort of stuff. So having that community of support around you too.
If you can give anybody advice before
venture
in that world of modeling,
yes,
what would that be to any girl or boy who decide to say, I want to be the next Rachel Gallagher?
Well, I'd be very flattered if I heard that, for sure.
Well, we don't want to use me for the example. We don't want to be Mary Bekes, but...
No.
Yeah, okay.
So I actually teach model management at a fashion school in Sydney. And this is a question that I get all the time. What's some advice that you would give to upcoming models or people who are aspiring to be in this area? I think maybe to not take things to heart. It's a very difficult industry to work in. You're constantly being looked at for how you look on the outside, and some people do take that to heart, which I completely understand it, and especially if you're young, it can be very hard to navigate that, but to always, protect your heart. Yeah.
What school are you teaching this again? Can we promote that school?
Yeah, sure. So I teach at FBI Fashion College in Glebe.
Sorry, what did you say? FBI? What?
FBI Fashion College.
FBI.
It's not the FBI.
Oh, okay, I was just like, it's like
no. I think it stands for
shut down the show right now. I was like,
no. Fashion Business Initiative.
Business Initiative.
Yeah, they just call it FBI. Yeah.
Let's go now become a little bit more serious because we need to break this ice, so-called, in the podcasting. And I never sat opposite me with somebody like yourself, having the crown, having the title. There's a lot of things inside of you which I don't understand. How do you become what you become? So I want to clear this for everybody to understand that my guest is today, Rachel Gallagher, and I said you can go on her website www.therachelgallagher.com and you can find out more about this lovely guest of mine in studio, how she is and what she does. Now, for all our listeners, you started your business called About Your Clothes.
Yes.
But before that, I want to ask you something. Fashion is expensive.
It is expensive, yes.
And I mean, that's it. So I try to understand who is the people who buy that stuff, because ordinary people can't buy, and you represent those brands. So when you wear all these expensive, whatever they are, who buys this stuff? And
it's a very good question. So,
do you mind to answer that?
Yeah, sure. So I work in fashion, and I only own one thing that's designer, and it's vintage. So not everyone.
One thing only.
Yes, one thing only.
My God.
Yes.
Go there.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. So I really think about fashion as buying investment pieces.
Yes.
So this dress that I'm wearing, I've had for about 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
And
it can still fit, obviously.
And it still fits very well. So whatever I buy, I always think about, am I going to wear this? Where has this come from? Who's made this dress?
Okay.
Yeah, and especially as I've learnt more about fashion, having worked as a model and now I work as a writer in fashion, I've seen lots of different sides of how the fashion industry operates. So it's really important to ask these questions so that you're more educated and empowered about the choices that you make with your fashion.
Tell us more about this writing. I wanted to ask this question a little bit later, but because it's sort of like natural progression, and which I like it in interview with you. You're writing about fashion. What is your writing about?
Yeah.
If you can share with our audience,
definitely.
On your website is there.
Yep.
But what is your writing about fashion?
Yep. So I have a blog and it's called About Your Clothes. Okay. And the name is pretty self-explanatory. It's all about where your clothes come from, what they're made out of, who's making your clothes, and all the different impacts that has on us as a society, because we're all connected by our clothes. If you think about it, at the end of the day, it's a global business.
Yes.
It's multi-billion-dollar business, and we have a right to know where our clothes come from and where they end up.
When you say where they come from, are you referring to some type of sustainable environment? Is an animal product or is more I don't know, green, or is it more cotton, is it more bamboo,
Yeah.
whatever, you know, it is.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
So you've got raw materials and synthetic
Okay,
materials, and learning about the different types of properties of each and the benefits of each is really important to making responsible choices about what you buy. Because at the end of the day, someone's sitting in a factory somewhere in the world making these clothes, and it's very interesting to hear the stories and of what these people go through, which is what I talk about on my website a lot. People, planet, and prosperity.
Can I ask you a personal question? Of course, if you want to answer, you witness these things. The fashion is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yes.
And, you know, we can't compare the fashion in 1930s, last century, with the 2030s now. It's more people, it's not sustainable, we wear all the leather and everything else. But yet, I just want to refer to the one show on TV called Sydney Wives of Sydney, what it's called.
Oh, okay, yes.
You know what I mean? And when I see all the bunch of these women, you know what I mean? Like how, talking about all this fashion, you know, brands and everything else. And I think myself, most of these things, it's a leather, real leather. You need to buy this, you need to kill animal to make these things. Now, do you think that fashion industry should be more sustainable? How could be more sustainable, please?
Well, sustainability is a very big topic, and it doesn't just encompass the environment, it also encompasses communities and people as well. So there are laws that are going on in the EU, especially the EU, they're leading the way, which is really great to see. And all of those laws that are coming out in the EU are going to impact the fashion industry as a whole. So I think in the next couple of years, we'll see some really big shifts in the fashion industry, and that will change a lot of things for us. Yeah.
I heard something about EU recently through a good friend of mine, because I come from Croatia and, you know, I still have my friends over there talking to them. And I was being told that the glitter,
Yes. Yeah.
they're going to ban the glitter because it's a plastic inside. I'm like,
Yes. Yes, because of the microplastic pollution.
Yeah.
So that's going to also affect fashion as well. So from memory, you will not be able to buy loose plastic glitter, but you can buy bio-based glitter.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how do your brand about your clothes help the market and people?
Yeah, so About Your Clothes is about empowering people with knowledge to make smart choices about what they buy, and also to think about where what they're buying is coming from. And I think that's really the first step to democratizing fashion for everyone.
Oh my God, I love this word.
Yeah.
See, that's the courage you're displaying. Like, obviously, this is not a simple business, how to say. I think that this business of yours involves that some people are become uneasy with what you're doing. Am I correct? Or?
There are a lot of controversial topics in sustainability and fashion because it's such a new area. It only really started during, the pandemic.
Yes.
I remember sitting at home watching, Vogue interviews with all the people that own the big brands.
Okay.
And that's when I started really getting interested in it. And then just through my work and talking to people that I know, the different conversations that have shaped the way I think about fashion. And I really like sharing that with other people.
You are the hero. No, honestly,
Thanks.
I want to say thank you to all my 1 million viewers who are watching this channel on YouTube right now. And I want you to give a big time and support and love to the Rachel Gallagher. Go on her website, because it takes the balls of what you're doing.
Okay.
No, seriously, I'm very serious. I'm the guy who is very hard to impress, particularly in men. Not because I was in a war and all these things, but thing is, I know what it takes for somebody to make the difference between talking and actioning, and you're actioning because your name is associated to your blog. So it's not just your beautiful face and your degrees, but it's an action there.
Yes.
Now, you're wearing it's called a crown?
Yes, my tiara,
Okay,
and
tiara.
my sash.
So, oh my God.
Yes.
Okay, so this is on English, tiara.
Yeah, look, here I go.
And what's it called, that thing?
The sash.
The sash, okay.
Yeah.
I apologize again.
No, that's okay.
I need to go in school in English.
All right.
So your tiara and sash. This is the Miss Galaxy Australia.
Yes.
Okay. What is the story about Miss Galaxy?
Yeah, so I started looking at doing another pageant towards the end of the pandemic, and I found Miss Galaxy. So it stands out for me as a pageant because it's all about empowering other people. I can go along and do all this volunteering that I do to be part of Galaxy and all these appearances and all these other things that people do for pageants. I could do that on my own. But I chose to do Galaxy because I have a community of people who are also interested in the same things that I'm interested in. We're all interested in empowering other people through our advocacy or through our charity work. And that's something that's really important to me as well.
So, as I said at the beginning, it's not easy to, impress the world with what they're doing. People love to listen only great stuff. People love to listen only the heroes from America. But we have here in Australia our own grown hero, Gallagher. And I say this with a full right and credibility. You did community work as well.
Yes.
It's called the Dress
for Success. Yes.
Okay. I want to know how this fits. FBI. Okay, it's not really FBI. Excuse me, FBI in America. So you teaching, you educating, you competing, you advocating, you empowering women, and now the Dress for Success community work. How this fits for you?
Yes, this is something that's really close to my heart. I love Dress for Success.
Would you mind to share this?
Yes, definitely. So I've been volunteering there for nearly a year, and they're based in Summerhill. They just moved to a new premises. It's really beautiful. So Dress for Success is about lifting up women who've come from very difficult backgrounds into getting employed and also getting financial freedom through that employment as well. So how it works is that we have women come from all different backgrounds. They might have been looking for a job and they've got a job interview, so we'll dress them in professional attire for that interview. And then if they get a job, then we give them a whole week's worth of clothing for their new job.
Okay, may I ask you, serious, this is a very personal question. Why on earth nobody in Australia doesn't talk about this? No, I'm very serious now.
Yes.
I'm sorry I'm raising my voice because it upsets me to see, we are more worrying about divorces on a TV, who's becoming from heterosexual marriage to the homosexual marriage, is a midgets walking on the walls, the unicorns running or not. But why nobody doesn't talk about this, that there's a Dress for Success community program which you're running, helping the women to be professionally dressed. They have a professional attire for the interview. They give them for the 1 week clothing. Why we don't? Okay, I try to relax now, but it's like
okay.
Our team is gonna go crazy around us now. I'd like to say as well, thank you to Team Binland, who's with us in the studio. But tell me, please, explain to me as a 5 years old, as the biggest moron on this planet, why on earth we don't talk in Australia about this true, literally help to the people you are servicing?
Yeah, so Dress for Success has been around for a while. It's a global initiative. It's a not-for-profit. It's in lots of different countries, including the US, UK and Australia. So a lot of people do work through Dress for Success. The people that I work with have been volunteering there for a very long time. A lot of them are older, some of them are younger than me, and some are sort of in the middle. So it does attract a lot of people who really care about this topic. I'm not sure why, the general public doesn't hear about it so much, but it's such a wonderful organisation. And that's part of why I'm doing Ms. Galaxy, because I want to tell people about the work that other people do to empower people through things like Dress for Success. I'm even doing a clothing drive for Dress for Success.
Clothing drive?
A clothing drive, yes.
Okay, that's a...
Yeah, so I'm collecting professional attire. So I've contacted people in my local community to donate clothing. I have a goal to fill my whole house with clothes to donate to Dress for Success to keep the mission going.
Okay, so can we make some type of public announcement?
Yeah, sure.
How the people can female clothing to be brought to your community organization?
Yeah, definitely.
How they can bring the...
So at the moment, I'm taking clothing donations up until April in 2024, just before the pageant happens.
Yes.
And I'm going to see how many that I can get. I'm very ambitious with this. So I've opened it up to people around the inner west area, because that's where I'm based in Sydney. You can also do your own sort of drop-offs to Dress for Success if that's something that you want to do. So usually just using my community connections, the people that I meet in my local area, and also my friends and family and their friends and their friends and so on.
So is there any any details about this on your website? Or
not on my website, it's on my Instagram.
On your Instagram.
So, yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm going to put the comment section below the Rachel details, you can contact her directly on Instagram and find out, particularly those who want to provide the clothing, professional clothing for the women with a less fortunate lifestyle. So
I've named it my Connected by Clothes campaign, and that's all about collecting the clothes. And there's a highlight on my Instagram where you can see my journey towards doing that as well.
There's a lot of smile on your face, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I can't rid of the impression that you are the cure for the sadness. Obviously, you are. No, honestly, like I must say this one. I don't share these compliments light and easy. People know me very well. And I say, thank you to all of you guys who support and like the Battlefield, particularly having today in the studio Rachel Gallagher. I can't rid of the feeling that your life was not always smiles and success. Can you share with us some of your trials and tribulations?
So if we think back to when we were talking about, teaching and everything and the things that I went through with that, it was very eye-opening. You come from, university being told, you're going to change the world to go out and be a teacher. And it's a big thing, We're going to change the world.
Yes.
And you come out and you find out it's not actually like that. So you have to deal with that disappointment, and you have to find other ways to channel your energy to make an impact in your local community. And then if I win Ms. Galaxy, it will be our national and international communities as well.
You will win. Is there any way we can support your...
Yeah, definitely.
Can you share it right now, or we're going to share it later? How our all viewers of Life the Battlefield can support Rachel for the Miss Galaxy? I try to find the nice awards, but it's I can't, because I'm still upset with the Dress for Success, right?
Okay.
No, I am, because I'm a little bit backwards, So,
that's okay. There's a lot.
Because I try to understand, we're feeling the news with all negativities, 24/7 we listen negative news, and everything little positive is for entertaining. It's about really irrelevant things. But this is very relevant. We live in a society which is being affected by the inflation, recession, and everything else. People looking for the jobs, and I'm seeing that people digging now in the garbage bins, seeing my street to look for the food. So it breaks my heart. But then we have the national hero here, literally hero. I made you that one, and you have the full credibility. You are, because you're representing something, and then you are investing with your peers and the colleagues in this community service to help other women to find a job by dressing them. And we don't talk about these things. But if we can talk about who take the drugs and has more alcohol, oh my God, that's going to be a great thing. Now, being the young student and being the teacher, obviously being a woman, being attractive woman like yourself is not easy. Was it easier to be attractive woman while doing modeling?
I think it's a very interesting question. It's a very good question. I think when you're doing modelling, everyone's attractive, right? So, being pretty in modelling is not, new. So you have to find a way to differentiate yourself from the other people around you. I really try to do that through my work ethic. Yes. Turning up 15 minutes early might not mean something, too much to one person, but that means a lot to me because it's respect for the people that I'm working with. On top of that, communication on photo shoots, taking younger models under my wing. I went to lunch the other day with a person who wants to be a model, and she asked me all these questions, and I gave her my honest answers, and whenever she has questions, she messages me. So I find that very nice. It's a really flattering thing, but it's also I'm empowering someone else through my knowledge with that as well.
So that's a good answer, because my question is how do you plan to empower the women, and how do you empower women right now? Perhaps let's just share this one. Why the women needs empowerment?
Very good
Why
question.
don't you let us men to do? I'm the man.
Yeah, I think it's the women supporting women thing. It's not a new concept, but I think it's one that we have to keep pushing in society, because for a very long time women didn't have many rights. We couldn't vote. We couldn't even have our own bank accounts and things like that. So we've got a lot of catching up to do. And I think you can, subvert stigmas, like through modeling and things like that, and beauty pageants, and show other people that maybe it's not the way that you think that it is. Modeling can be used for more than just looking pretty, and so can beauty pageants.
Got that. And how are you going to achieve this? I mean, like obviously Mixed Galaxy is going to relate to the Dress for Success. How do you plan to achieve the power this women?
Yeah,
Do
so
you put them in a classroom, or how are you going to do this?
yeah, so if I were to take the national title of Miss Galaxy Australia, I would continue my work with Dress for Success, and I would bring other people into that with me as well. So further my reach out into my local community, but also my national community. So when you have a national title, you have a national platform to speak to people about the things that you care about. And that's the beauty of beauty pageants, right? So you have that opportunity to have a platform for the things that you care about.
Personal question. You say that you're coming from the family where both parents are academics.
Yes.
So, you grow up with some type of security in your life and obviously having the food on table, everything else. I'll understand if it's opposite me, somebody who didn't have these things and doing things what you're doing right now, helping others.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. So I come from a single parent family. So growing up, I grew up in a very affluent area. I grew up in Manly. So, very affluent.
That's a bit of rich people.
Yeah. A very affluent area. So I was very different from a lot of the people that I was around. So that was very difficult, seeing other people getting things that I couldn't do, or being sent to expensive schools or whatever, and all that sort of stuff, and having opportunities that I wasn't really able to pursue. So that's, I think, why that I've done so much when I became an adult. I kind of said, right, this is my opportunity to make a difference and to give people opportunities that I didn't have.
I mean, like, it's not just a inspiring story. Like, I'm really hoping that's going to be a lot of women there who's going to reach you after this interview and who's going to come to you in your aid with the Dress of Success and learn from you, because our society needs more Rachels. Honestly, I say this as a man, you know what I mean? And that, Tim is in another corner, he's watching this, and, millions of viewers now is going to see this interview. I have no interest to say things just to make people happy. I'm saying because it upsets me seeing that we don't speak about things you guys doing to help other ones, and as well we don't do emphasis on our local heroes as you are, right? You're in Australia and we don't talk these things in Australia. Our woman who does these things for her own time, her own money and everything else, because I don't see you making the millions on those things. Now, female empowerment is one thing, you're doing this competition and you travel across the globe. What was your most desirable location you visited? Would you visit again?
Travel-wise?
Yes.
Okay,
it's not the Bochum Hills from the Millie Hills.
No. So that was fun.
Yeah, okay.
I had a great Uber drive on the way over. It was very nice.
Did he say, you sure you want to go there?
No, I was very sure. I was going to come and see you.
Okay.
So I went to the US in 2019.
Okay.
And that was a really good experience. And I think I came back as a bit of a different person. I think America really brings out the best in people.
Oh, really?
Yes. I know that that's a little bit controversial, but they ask you about yourself. They ask you, what do you do? Who are you? And you have to have an answer for these things.
Okay.
And they encourage ambition, which is really good, especially if you're working in a very competitive industry like modelling, or if you're doing beauty pageants. They really do, if you're doing good stuff, they go, oh yeah, good on you, sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's missing in Australia, right?
I think so. I've had conversations with, friends and things about this. I recently had a friend who actually left Australia because he was very upset about some of the stuff going on here. He has moved to Asia to pursue other things in fashion as well. So I think, culturally, Australia does have differences to different countries with this stuff, yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing this with us, because, I know the person who was in US recently, Tim, and he was complaining how everything is like a 10 sizes bigger than anything else.
Yes, that is true.
You say you walk in a chemist,
Yeah.
right, Tim? It's like I walk in a chemist, half
Yeah.
of chemist is like to cure the diabetes and second half is to give you diabetes.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's US. So, in that respect, I would like to ask you a question for the all guys and girls over there. We discussed this before we had our walk into the studio. Let's talk about dating now. I want to ask you a question because as you're quite interesting person. You are very, good looking person, of course. I try to find the proper words. I don't want to
That's
people
okay.
judge me there like, I'll be like,
Right.
okay, so when the women dress in themselves, I will say to you my view, I think the society's changed the last couple of years because I think sometimes we're living in a planet Tatooine, the Star Wars, everybody's a baggy clothes and tracky ducks and everything else, right? Things are changed, I don't see the men wearing the suits, the shoes, all these things. But one thing it stays still, it's a dating and seduction, attraction. What do you think, or what you can share with all these women, how to dress themselves for the dating, for example, or going out, or what to choose when you go for the dinner or for the opera or for the funeral, whatever,
Yeah, I think personal style is really important. You have to think about who am I, how do I see myself, and how do I want other people to see me. I learned this. I learn't this through beauty pageants. So personal style is a really big part of pageantry, and showing the judges of the pageant who you are inside by how you look on the outside, if that makes sense.
So not just being attractive outside, but that inner must come out.
The inner comes out. Yes, that's when you know that you've discovered your personal style is when it's a reflection of who you are as a person on the inside, and that might be dyeing your hair pink or something, or if that's who you are on the inside. Or for me, I really like elegant fashion. Yes. I've always been attracted to elegant clothing. My grandfather used to work for Sportscraft.
Okay.
Yeah, so my whole family is sort of like into fashion in one way or another, whether it's formally or informally.
Breakfast at Tiffany.
I love Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's a great film.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's like I think that fashion.
It's one of my favorite films, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was not set up. That was not set up for itself. So, do you advise that women should wear the brands to look good, or they can wear the nice things? Sorry, that's a put yours for wording. Things which normally we can buy in shops, but still look good. Yeah,
you don't have to wear brands to look good. I buy a lot of vintage stuff, and that's because of my belief in sustainability. So I love going through, vintage stores in Newtown or in Glebe. They have some really good stuff there too. Hot tip.
Okay.
Yep.
Glebe.
Yep. I go there, and that's where most of my clothes are from. And I really strongly believe that you don't always have to buy things with a brand name. It doesn't always have to be something new. You can embrace the charm of fashion from years gone by. You don't necessarily have to buy something new just because everyone has it or because social media is telling you to.
Okay. Well, let's go now do the marriage between the, fashion, so that's clothing, and the look. I ask a question prior we start this interview, and I'm still buzzing my head, try to come across proper, formulating the proper question, but how important is the look for the woman to feel good, right? And what's your secret? You can share with everybody. We just learned that you're going to the gym right now. 4 months ago you started gym.
Yes.
You shouldn't say that because I bet that many women want to say like, she's going to gym for 4 months only. Look at how she was looking. How attractive she is. So how important is the look for women to, physical look, to feel good, to act well, to feel attractive? Your personal experience as somebody who has been on the pageants, doing the Miss Galaxy, you've been on stage, you're doing a lot of photo sessions we can see on our Instagram. You can go on our website, Instagram of the Rachel. So Rachel, look, dieting.
Yeah, so I think I do exercise because it makes me feel good.
Okay.
I also love running. Running's really fun. And I do like 5K, 10K races because that's something that I enjoy. So finding something that you enjoy that's, helpful for keeping your body in shape, because as you get older, you have to rely on all of that exercise that you've done as you were younger to support you when you're a little bit older. So that's how I always think about it. It's a long-term investment. It's not just for looking good for a photo shoot. It's because it makes me feel good inside and also physically.
How do you make yourself, okay, now I'm going to skip into something different domain with the photo shooting, right? I saw today on your Instagram, I was stalking before it's professional. Okay, so you're smiling on a photo shooting. How do you keep smiling? What do you think about something? Give us those secrets, behind the scene. Like, do you think about something, or did you giggle yourself? Oh my dear Lord, I'm going in the Western Sydney to see Mare for podcast.
I've always naturally been a very smiley person. I had a geography teacher when I was in high school, always walk past me and say, "Good morning, Smiley, how are you?" So I've always been a very naturally smiley human being. And I think that's just because I'm a naturally happy person. It's not hard for me to smile on a photo shoot. Sometimes it's more difficult for me to do like a more serious photo shoot. I have to concentrate more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think you kind of switch on your professional brain when you're in a photo shoot and you are there to do a job and to achieve a goal. And that's what we're all there for. So we make sure that we do the best job that we can.
Well, Rachel, this was one of the best interviews I had this year. We're coming towards the end of 2023, and having you towards the end of the year with a smiley face, it is true blessing in disguise. And I want to really commend you for the dress for success. It's truly something very noble, and as I said, that sets you apart from everybody else who talk for the person who does. And I want you guys to relate yourself to the Rachel, that impossible it's possible, that small gestures going to make a big differences for the people around us. Then about your clothes, sustainable clothing and the writing. So may I ask you, where do you find time between the running 10Ks or not? Okay, it's not every day running 10Ks, gym, the photo sessions, teaching on our FBI, doing the dress for success. And then you're writing, where do you find time? How do you organize yourself?
Yeah.
For all the women over there and the guys who loves to be the Miss pageant, what is your secret in being organized?
I think prioritizing is very important.
Okay.
So what matters to you, I think you have to make a decision between being tired and doing things that you know are important to you in the long term. So if I come home from work and, I'm tired, I don't want to write my blog today, well, then it doesn't get written. Who else is going to do it? I have to do it.
Sure.
So it's the same sort of work ethic that I take through to modelling, that I take through to pageantry as well. If something's really important to me, like those things are, I commit 110%. And I think that's something that other people can kind of take away from what we've talked about today. If you do things with 110%, you'll end up where you need to be.
I'm truly hoping that somebody on national TV will discover this interview. I'll make a show for sure that people know more about this one, because being 30 years old, very attractive woman, but yet highly educated person like yourself, somebody who is committed to help the society itself, the society which struggles with like these women to find the proper clothing. And, you take in consideration that you have the only one brand clothing item in your possession.
Yes.
I mean, it's unusual, for me to hear these things. And then you're saying that it's okay, you can be attractive, you can be beautiful, sexy, good looking, whatever, you feel good, even if you're not in a brand.
You can feel confident without having to rely on external things to make you have the illusion of confidence. Confidence comes from what you know that you can do through your own experience. if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's absolutely.
I know that I can do a photo shoot because I've gone and I've tried it. It's something that I've done, that I've experimented with, and that I've taught myself mostly. So I know that I'm good at that because I've got evidence of trying that in the past.
You know the difference between you and this and the many women are seeing on the internet? It's a class and style. And that's what I buy the men will buy, the class and style. You know, as a man, I can say I've seen, you know, on social media, everybody, I was just recently in Dubai, right? And I was there, and yeah, as you can imagine, you ever been to Dubai?
I have been to Dubai.
Yeah. So, you know, everything's, it's luxury, right? In
Yes.
Netflix shows. It's all these brands. So my son was with me, and I said to my son, let's go grab you some stuff. He's a true Aussie, you know, he doesn't care, I mean, except his medicine, and I mean, that's his studying, and that's all he does, and nothing else. But I said to him, did you notice, Matteo, something here, that people are coming here to look good, to feel good, but yet they're unhappy. And then you come with that statement of yours that you can be happy and comfortable with the things that are not representing the brains, the riches, and the luxury. And for that, I salute you. That's the difference between class and style, somebody like yourself, and somebody who needs to be present on a place and time in some branding things to feel good. And yet it's gone like this.
Yep. It's not what you have, it's what you do.
Okay, that's a good one.
Thank you.
So, Rachel, I said people can contact you on your website, therachelgallagher.com, and your Instagram as well.
Yes, I'm very active on Instagram. You can go and give me a follow. So it's rachelg.img. And I'm sure Mario will put a link to
It's
that somewhere.
at Rachel
G.
G at IMG. Why IMG? IM?
So like image. Yeah, it's the short form
that's
for
clever.
image. Yeah, so I couldn't think of anything that rhymed with Rachel. There's nothing. That's why my parents chose my name, because there was nothing that rhymed with Rachel. Thanks, Mum and Dad.
Thanks, Mum and Dad.
Thanks, Mum and Dad. Very useful in Australia, where everyone has a nickname. But yeah, rachelg.img on Instagram. You can also go to my website. I have my blogs up there about modelling. And I also have my aboutyourclothes.com, and that is all about sustainable fashion. And I also have an Instagram for that. So that's about your clothes with an underscore after it.
Thank you, Rachel, for my guest.
Thank you so much for having
You know,
me.
like, I just want to, before we end, I want to say this, guys. That's the hero. We are surrounded with the unsung heroes. Rachel Gallagher, she is one of them. So, guys, I want you to give support, love, and go on her Instagram, rachel.img, and give her, you know, follow her, give her support on her action to help those who are less fortunate than us. And I want to say, don't judge the book by the cover. Rachel, she is very, very versatile person, but one thing she display is her. It's your energy is like a fusion energy. Like I want to say this is like continuously you giving the hope to the people around us. I want to say thank you on behalf of every woman you clothed, on behalf of every person you make it happy, and thank you for helping every kid who's want to go on that path to become the model. Good luck, Miss Galaxy. Before this, Miss Galaxy, where they can support you next year, how they can support you. It's not over yet. Miss Galaxy, please.
So I will be posting updates about my Miss Galaxy Australia journey on Instagram mostly, because a lot of that happens over there on social media. We've also got the national final in May. It's from the 1st to the 4th of May at Bankstown RSL Club.
So you're going to still come on? Okay, that's a southwest. Okay, so.
Yeah, I don't actually know the western suburbs very well, but
don't worry, we give protection.
Maybe I'll know more.
If you survive this suburb today, you're going to be okay with Bekes.
Oh, it's not so bad. It's fine. I had a great time. What do you mean?
No, look, like what I'm trying to say, I'm very grateful, I'm very thankful, Rachel, that you found the time today to come in my studio and talk today to the listeners and viewers of the Life the Battlefield. And thank you again for giving that hope and energy to everybody around us. Guys, you can be fat like me and be happy, and you can be nice and skinny like a Rachel. Either way, it's what you choose to be, as a Rachel says. You choose what you want to be, how you're going to feel, not just clothing. Rachel, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mario.